At 60, you can live with back pain. You can live with blurry eyes. You can even live with sleepless nights. But there is another pain, quieter, heavier, that very few men dare to say out loud. It's that moment when your wife looks at you, then quietly turns away. No blame, no anger, just silence. And deep inside, you know, something has changed. You were once the strong one, the leader, the anchor. But now, you feel like an old engine, still with fuel, still with parts, yet unable to start. Maybe you've tried pills. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't. Maybe you've told yourself, it's just age. But here's the surprising truth. For many men over 60, the missing link isn't just hormones, or the heart, or even desire. It can be something far simpler, and often overlooked. Vitamins. Not the cheap multivitamins you see advertised everywhere, but 3 very specific vitamins, backed by science, that directly affect a man's ability to feel alive, connected, and confident again. Stay with me until the end of this video. You'll discover how to test for deficiencies, how to restore what's missing, and, most importantly, how to reclaim something you may have thought was gone forever. And if any part of what I just said feels familiar, type in the comments, "I've been there." Because you're not alone. Now, let's begin with Walter's story. Walter is 67. He lives in Montana, a place where winters feel endless and the sun barely shows its face. For years, he stayed indoors, and slowly something in him changed. Not his strength, not his health, but his presence. His wife, Mary, noticed first. No more playful jokes, no more secret glances when the bedroom door closed. One evening she asked softly, "Do you not find me attractive anymore?" Walter smiled sadly but said nothing. He tried the little blue pill. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But deep inside, the emptiness grew. Then came a routine checkup, a simple blood test, and the result shocked him. His vitamin D level was only 16, severely deficient. His doctor explained something he had never heard before. Vitamin D isn't just about bones or sunshine. It connects directly to blood flow, hormones, and yes, testosterone. Vitamin D attaches to special receptors in your blood vessels, muscles, and even the testes. Those receptors trigger the production of nitric oxide, the very chemical that relaxes blood vessels and allows blood to fill the chambers of the penis. Without enough vitamin D, nitric oxide drops, blood flow weakens, erections fail, and worse, low vitamin D also means lower testosterone. So what did Walter do? He started supplementing with 2,000 international units of vitamin D3 daily, added some zinc, and began walking outdoors every morning. 3 months later, his blood level rose to 34. But the real change wasn't on paper. It was in Mary's eyes, the way she smiled at him again, the quiet moment when he turned off the light, held her hand, and no words were needed. If you live in a place with little sun or rarely step outside, you could be silently experiencing what Walter went through. And it's so simple to test. Ask your doctor for a vitamin D blood test. Aim for levels above 30. But what if your heart itself has already been through a battle? That's where George's story begins. George is 70, a former golf champion in Florida, strong, confident, full of life. Until one night, he felt a crushing pain in his chest. A heart attack. Doctors placed a stent. He recovered. His blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart were now under control. But one thing wasn't: his intimacy. For 2 years, George felt betrayed by his own body. His desire was there, but his response was not. No pill fully worked, and the disappointment cut deeper than his heart attack. Finally, during a follow-up, he asked his doctor, "Is there any way beyond medication?" The doctor looked at his chart, then asked, "Have you ever tried niacin?" George was puzzled. Niacin? Vitamin B3? He had never connected that word to intimacy. Niacin boosts NAD, the molecule every cell needs for energy. It helps improve cholesterol, relaxes blood vessels, and increases blood flow to where it matters most. It even enhances the chemical pathway that ED drugs rely on, making them work better if needed. George began with 500 milligrams of niacin after meals. The first time, his face flushed red and warm, a harmless but surprising reaction. Over weeks, his body adjusted. After 6 weeks, something shifted. Not only did his erections improve, but his desire returned. For the first time in years, George initiated intimacy, not to test himself, but because he truly wanted to. If you've had heart problems, high cholesterol, or long-term statin use, you may also be niacin deficient. Foods like salmon, chicken, peanuts, and whole grains contain it. But for many older men, food alone isn't enough. High doses require medical guidance. Never exceed 1,000 milligrams daily without your doctor's advice. But George's story leaves one question. What if the problem isn't just blood flow or hormones? What if the very nerves that carry desire have gone silent? That's where Richard's journey begins. Richard is 65, a retired teacher in Oregon, a man of words, poetry, and subtle emotions. But slowly, something inside him faded. Not his health, not his strength, but his sensitivity. He no longer felt that spark. The glances, the moments, meant less. Desire was gone. Doctors told him, "It's just aging." But one specialist suggested another test, homocysteine. The result? 17.6, dangerously high. Homocysteine is called the silent killer of the heart. But what many don't know, it also damages blood vessels and nerve cells. When homocysteine rises, blood doesn't flow right. Nerves lose their coating, their signals dull. The result? Desire fades, sensitivity vanishes. The good news? 3 vitamins can bring it back. B6, folate, and B12. Richard began supplementation. Folate, 800 micrograms a day. B12, 1,000 micrograms a day under the tongue. B6, 50 milligrams a day. After 10 weeks, something remarkable happened. Not just physical function, but emotions. "I feel connected again," Richard said. "Not just with my wife, but with myself." If you felt numbness in your fingers, subtle memory loss, or unexplained fatigue, don't dismiss it. It could be B vitamin deficiency, especially if you're vegetarian, on metformin, or long-term acid-reducing medication. Because sometimes the difference between feeling alive and feeling empty is just a blood test away. Walter, George, Richard, 3 different men, 3 different struggles, but the same quiet loneliness of not feeling like themselves anymore. They didn't lack love. They didn't lack partners willing to hold their hand. They were simply missing small pieces, pieces that science has proven matter. Vitamin D3, the sunlight for hormones and blood flow. Niacin, or B3, the spark for circulation and energy. B6, B9, and B12, the trio that keeps your nerves alive and responsive. No expensive therapy, no shameful silence, just knowing what's missing and taking small, steady steps. So here's your roadmap. Ask for simple blood tests, vitamin D, B12, homocysteine, and lipids. Write down what you're low in. Act consistently, patiently, step by step, because sexual health isn't just about youth. It's the deepest reflection of your heart, your blood, your nerves. It's your body saying, I'm alive. I want connection. I still need love. If you've stayed with me until now, it means you care. So type in the comments, I will begin. Not for me, for yourself. Share this video with a friend you know is silently struggling. And subscribe, because in the next episodes, I'll show you how to not just live longer, but live fully. 60 is not the end. It's the chance for the most meaningful beginning. And the choice is yours, starting today.